be in the next game anytime soon. But before that, I have Hazu joining me for the map votes. So Hazu, as you're also from Mouse Sports, is that a bit biased for you then? Like, do you normally root for your team player or teammate then, or?
Of course I do. Yeah, I'm happy that Biggs won. It's still gonna be tough for him. I mean, Night End is still in tournament. I think, they're actually meeting right now. So this match will be very, very hard for both of them. And there are a lot of Zergs, and Biggs really don't like ZVZ. So yeah, let's see how it does.
So the next match we're going to see is between Monchi and Safa, I think. Yeah, at least those are the two guys who are standing next to our admin. So we'll be seeing those two guys playing. How do you feel about that matchup?
I have to say, I think Monchi is the big favorite. We saw Safa already playing against Panda Tank, and Panda Tank did it very well there. Safa had some... Yeah, he did some small mistakes, I think. And so, I guess Monchi is the favorite.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of people would agree with that. But still, let us know via Twitter and Facebook what you think, who is going to make it in that game. And we will start the map votes now between Monchi and Safa. So let's take a look at which maps they will vote out. It's once more going to be a PVZ. Oh, we didn't expect that one to come in that tournament, did we?
There are going to be some more PVZs.
Yeah, a few.
So Monchi vetoed Antigua Shipyard first. Safa actually going for Shakuras as a veto. So let's see. I guess Tal'Darim will be on the veto side as well. There we go. Actually, Monchi is vetoing it. As I mentioned before, if you don't know the Zerg style too well from your opponent, you rather gonna veto Tal'Darim because it's such a big map and there's a lot of cheese going on sometimes. And Safa is vetoing Ohana. So we do have Cloud Kingdom, Daybreak, and Entombed. It's the first time we do see Entombed, I think, in the tournament.
Actually, it is, yes.
It was always vetoed before. Interesting choice, because on Entombed, Protoss can get very, very easy 3-base. And it's a very big map, and as you mentioned, it's not only cross-spawn. So if it would be only cross-spawn, I think it's okay for Zerg. In this scenario, he has to be a little bit lucky, I guess. Or maybe he has something planned out on Entombed. So we will see.
Let's hope for him that he does.
I mean, it's not like a really, really bad map, I think. So
no, none of the maps is really bad. I mean, it always depends on what you want to go for in general and what you don't mind facing off.
Indeed,
as some people don't have a problem with like any kind of cheese or rushes or whatever. Like some people can hold it, some other don't feel too comfortable with it.
I just wonder that it's the first time that we see it, because I think Entombed is actually a quite nice map overall. So I was surprised that it's the first time we're going to see it in the tournament. But
so you reckon that Monchi is going to feel more comfortable on Entombed though?
As I said before, I think Monchi is the favorite, so I guess he's going to feel confident at all the maps. For Entombed, I think he has something planned there. Otherwise, he would have vetoed it because he vetoed Tal'Darim, which are kind of similar. It's hard to wall off and stuff on Entombed. So I think he has a plan there. And usually, Monchi is very good in executing stuff if he knows what exactly he tries to do. Unless he is playing against Sys on the third map and all the sentries are running up the ramp and dying to spine crawlers.
Well, that's unfortunate to say the least. And I think they're going to start any second, so we can throw it over to the commentators and the two of us can sit down and enjoy the games. Of course, you guys at home can do the same. And once more, I want to remind you that you can win the Collector's Edition of StarCraft 2 by going on the ESL Facebook page, and it's called the ESL. So make sure to go to the right page, as there are two. There is ESL TV and the TV, and there is the ESL. The ESL is the one who has the picture of me kissing that lovely box, and this is where you have to put your comments in it. Make sure to let us know how much you love StarCraft 2. You can express your love with anything. Like you can do an expression dance. We've seen some of the people do that. Like I don't know. Like, be creative.
There are definitely people who are more creative than me. So
like creativity is always being rewarded, and I'm looking forward to see whatever you will come up with to show us your love for StarCraft 2. And now we will head into the next game, which is going to be between Safa and Monchi, and I will give it over to our commentators, Grubby and Kalaris.
Thank you very much, Zoe. And indeed, welcome back to the casting desk here. I'm not going to ask you how you are. So, indeed, we will have more PVZ on the way. Who would have thunk it? And it's going to be between Monchi and Safa. Now, we've seen Monchi play a lot of PVZ in the past. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good, phenomenal Protoss from Austria. Austria? Yes, Austria. And Safa has it all to go for. He's been able to eliminate a Protoss in the losers bracket.
Enchanted.
Yes. So he is out. But he did fall to a Protoss in the first round.
So did Monchi fall to a Zerg player.
Yeah.
And this is Monchi's chance of redemption. A player who I would probably pick to be the top 6 seed of this tournament.
Yeah.
Cannot be happy to lose in this stage of the game. Now Safa, he's not quite a lowly or a bigs, but he is in team RoX.KIS. And this is looking like a very nice family of players, Russian team. And they really developed their players very well. A lot of the RoX.KIS players recently have done very well both at LAN and online. We saw it the DreamHack, Freyr OK, Lowly, Slivko. They were all doing very well there. And Safa could be, in the game-wise, their little brother in that sense.
I actually share that opinion kind of avidly. I think the RoX.KIS has such a depth of players and is extremely strong in themselves. But regardless, we are going to get onto the player intros as we do have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner. Monchi going to be spawning as our blue Protoss. And then up to the top right-hand corner, we do have RoX.KIS.Safa going to be spawning as our red Zergy. But, again, RoX.KIS.
I think they have a lot
strong.
going for them.
Yeah.
Now, what Safa has going for them is a 10 pool.
Yeah.
And that gets scouted immediately by Monchi. Now, 10 pool, on this map, it's not so much of a threat as it is just a statement whereby you say, I don't want you to go Nexus first.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of it. Another funny element of it is that, for example, you could just go keep making drones, and then the Protoss might think that you're making Zerglings, gets like forged and cannon, and then Nexus, and instead you were just going drones, and all you lost is the drone mining time from that single drone who made the pool. Could this be what happens, or is he going to make a number of Zerglings? Let's see. Try to loop a drone around his base. Makes 4 Zerglings.
And
can't make a queen because of supply. Would have to make an extractor if he wants to start his queen. Queen is currently supply blocked. And he makes an overlord and it's still supply blocked. And is he going to just make an extractor to start that queen? No,
he
he's
went out
not.
there quite quickly with that initial drone as well to try and get that expansion down.
And now he cancelled the queen and he makes a hatchery. So this is a late hatchery with late drones and late queen and early Zerglings.
And meanwhile, over in Monchi's base, he's just doing a nice little job walling in. Obviously, he didn't go for that Nexus first, just went for that Forge, because, again, there was always that threat looming of those Zerglings. And for now, I mean, Monchi he's going to have gone up against this kind of pool timing quite a lot. So he's not going to be too thrown off. It is, you know, it's not too big a deal, but...
Well, it can only mean one thing, early links. It doesn't really mean anything else.
Yeah.
No quick tech, no gas, so there's like no concern at all. And as a Protoss, if I was playing this game, I would just be kind of like laughing that, this doesn't really amount to anything. Like, it was just a lot of economical losses for the Zerg with no apparent or real gain at all.
Yeah. Again, that opportunity cost of that 200 minerals invested in that in that spawning pool that early, you know, it does hurt a little bit of that economy early on. So for now, we'll kill that off. Sees the guys going into gas. Did he click on the gas? He must have.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, he just saw them go in, I think.
Yeah.
So he knows it's 2 gas, 2 base. Hatchery finished. Now the Zerg could be trying any number of things, but whatever he's trying, which involves some early bust, this is the worst possible map to try it on.
Why would you say that?
It's such a long distance to walk there.
Yep.
Not making a Roach Warren yet, so he's not doing a Roach bust. Maybe he's going to tech very fast.
He is going to tech very fast, as we do have... I mean, is he leaving the guys on gas? He is leaving the guys on gas.
Yeah, he is leaving them, but he gets speedlings first. And now the Zealot is going to chase these Zerglings away. Monchi's plans are going to be very reactive. Whatever he was thinking before the game is not valid anymore because of the things that the Zerg did.
Yeah.
Monchi would like to know whether there's a third base. So far he made sure there wasn't, but maybe he wants to have another look.
That would be very wise. As staying on 2 base can mean quite a few things from a Zerg. Maybe they want to get a little bit aggressive. Maybe they're going for a bit of an odd timing.
This is so weird.
Yeah.
He's using a robo as part of the wall off. That's extremely unusual. Robo facility is very costly. So if it ever gets busted, killed by roaches or banelings or lings or mutas, it's like so easy to take out at that point.
Do you think, especially what he's going up against, it's really odd? Because if the Zerg opponent is staying on 2 base,
yeah, then it's even more odd to go for Robo. Robo is very unusual against a 2 base Zerg.
Well, not only just the Robo, but I mean, again, as you said, the placement. I mean,
the funny thing is, this placement is maybe the part that's gonna find out the latest.
Oh, actually.
Ironically, because that Zealot currently has tabs on the Zalnaga tower.
Yeah.
So he knows there's nothing poking in right now.
That's pretty fantastic.
Look, the Overlord pretty much saw nearly everything else. The gate.
The Robo.
Yeah.
What I was thinking is, if you end up put your Robo here or whatever, then it's a much easier like reinforcement path. Say if you were gonna get like a third.
No, you still don't want it.
No, exactly. That's
if it dies, you have no reinforcements.
Yeah.
Okay, so RoX.KIS.Safa, he's going to Lair. He's making a Baneling nest and double Evo chamber upgrades. So it could be 2 base Ling Baneling drop with upgrades. Is he gonna make Overlord upgrades?
Well, he's getting the 3rd base on the way.
He's getting the 3rd.
So is he just gonna go Ling Bane Muta like we've seen Sizz, SYZ doing?
No. Oh yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
And they're from the same country, aren't they? No.
Yes, I think so. Safa is. Oh no, maybe Safa's from Belarus. Both of their flags look very, very similar. Belarus and Portugal.
Safa is.
He's from Belarus.
Yeah, Belarus.
The green is on the bottom as opposed to on the side for the Portugal flag. So yeah, he is from Belarus.
Yeah. Now getting centrifugal hooks, and he's getting those upgrades for the links. He's also getting Overlord drops, indeed. So this is going to be... Oh, this strategy. We saw it. We saw it on Terminus. No, this is a lot earlier drops than Dimaga.
Oh.
Dimaga does it like 3 base and then safety with links, a lot of drones.
Yeah.
This is a more low economy, Terminus SE kind of style. This map has been phased out of tournament play.
Yeah.
It's never been in ladder play, and we used to play this all the time just a year ago. It was this really big map with very long walking distance, but quite short flight distances. And you would have Zergs, they would make a lot of links and banelings, and they drop them over various different bases. And against the Protoss, who's trying to go for a quick 3rd, relying mostly on sentries and force fields and SimCity to hold out a Zerg who attacks frontally, this can work out very, very well.
Yeah.
It nearly always leads into a lot of probe kills and 1 Nexus kill at least, usually the one in the main base. That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
And then you have to see, did Zerg kill enough, or can Protoss recuperate? Here we see the Banelings being morphed in, Overlords flying in from every direction. And
do you think he's going to spread these, or do you think he's just going to go for a full-up frontal assault? Because that's sort of what it's looking like right now.
He needs to spread 1 Overlord to the natural and 1 to the main base. If he uses everything in one place, I don't think it's going to do the critical damage that he maybe envisioned.
Maybe not. As well, I mean, if he's able to land on the sentries, then that is going to be fantastic. But will he be able to do so? Looking at this from Monchi's view, he sees the Overlords coming in, and he does have quite a nice spread on his units here. So these Banelings might not be as cost efficient as he would like. Nice force fields preventing a lot of those Zerglings from getting in as well. So they weren't able to fully connect and get the full benefit from those. But there's still a few Banelings in one of these Overlords.
Yeah, he's not going to fly over the natural, but Monchi is aware of it. Pulls away his probes, and I would say Monchi survived very well here indeed.
Oh, and he's going to send that Overlord still into the main. He spreads the other ones over to the north, and is Monchi going to react in time is the question.
If the Banelings drop here, they will kill the probes, but if they go close to the cannon,
He does kill quite a few of them. 8 kills in total, weakening a lot of them as well. If he did have +2 weapons, then he would have one-shot those, but for now, he does not have that +2 weapons anywhere near finish. RoX.KIS.Safa right now, morphing in a ton more Banelings. He wants to look like, it looks like he wants to just bust the front here.
Yeah, here comes wave number 2. And the thing is, there's not that many sentries left, so Monchi kind of needs to use the architecture of his base in this case.
Yeah.
2-2 not yet finished, about halfway. We have very low drone count at the 3rd of the Zerg. He's very all-in with this.
Yeah,
Observers spotted it. Did Monchi look at that? I think he did. And now in they come. Monchi's well aware of it.
All Monchi needs to do, because he knows that this is coming from wave 1, so once he sees wave 2, just splitting units a little bit, maybe even preemptively splitting them. They're going to come in from the back, though, and all those Stalkers are pretty clumped here.
He has Blink, though.
Oh, does separate pretty nicely, despite not using Blink there to begin with, and then will blink back to that mineral line. There's still a few Banelings left over. Zergling's getting a good amount of surface area on some of these Stalkers in the back, though, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, big new Stalker warp in, and Immortals, they both have a lot of kills, over 10 kills each. They are instructors. And one is even a master. Nice.
Impressive. I'd like to be a master sometime.
Immortals against like remainders of Zerglings, they're really great.
Yeah.
Against like very many Zerglings, they are not the ideal unit. But just these two Immortals, they've stayed alive all the time because they always took some hits, never a lot of hits, and never none. So they were just perfect.
And any hits they have taken is like from Baneling Splash, which is only really kind of tickling them anyway.
Which is what their Hardened Shield is designed to take 10 hits off.
Exactly, and now
it's amazing for him.
Once you're sending out some Zealots here, and they will
now
get
he's
a few
dropping
hits.
Banelings on Zealots, even though he has Zerglings with 2/2 upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Zerglings. Oh, actually, no, we do have +1 armor down as well for Monchi already. So even if he were to connect with those probes, even he still wouldn't one-shot them with those Banelings. But anyway, he's going to go in for another drop. Monchi not necessarily watching that army. Oh, actually, he will be doing lovely split there. Does kill off some of the sentries, but at the same time, there is a Colossus in tow, and that's going to be able to shred up the Zerglings if he's able to actually get some good hits off. Zerglings cleaning up a lot of that, including one of the Immortals, but they're going to melt.
And there's a big supply lead here, 30 supply ahead for Monchi. He's just survived wave after wave of these attacks. More and more links are being rallied. There was an infestation pit being made for the Zerg, and he's getting pathogen glands, but he has the gas. He can make a number of infestors, but continuing to attack against the Protoss, who has very easily stabilized on 68 probes, even confident enough to take a 4th Nexus here.
And Monchi knows right now that how economically crippled Safa is off the back of all this attacking, because he's once again sent his Overlord over, saw that there was uneven gas taken at this third, never mind actually saturated properly.
You mean Observer?
So, yes, sorry. What did I say?
You said Overlord.
Did I? Yeah, Observer. So
yeah, he knows, and he knows there's lair tech. He sees that right now with his Observer, so yeah, very good position here from Monchi. All you really need to do is just keep warping in more Stalkers and just go attack and finish it. There's nothing, if you just make a calculation of what you've seen and what you've seen the Zerg has spent and lost, you could know, an experienced player will know, there cannot be Corruptors and Infestors out right now. There'll just be either one, and there won't be a lot.
Yeah, and in fact, he just saw some of those Infestors popping. Did he? Oh, he did see the Infestation pit anyway, as you said. So
Overlord full of Banelings just died in the middle. It flew right through the middle.
Oh, that's brutal.
Here's another one at the top left. It's flying right over the 4th. Not as suave as it thinks it is.
One probe there to be Baneling bombed, so he's going to try and go around to the 3rd. At the same time, though, a little bit of an engagement in the middle. Fungal Growths go down, locking a lot of that down, but he will blink forward to be able to focus down those very, very important Infestors. And again, the composition is just melting here for Safa, as Monchi is able to take even more of a lead.
But will a moral victory be gained for the Zerg? As the Baneling Overlord flies over, will the probes notice in time? 1, Baneling 2, Baneling 3.
Okay, one-shot them. Yeah, that +1 armor, not necessarily enough, as the Banelings do gain a little bit more damage there in comparison to that not extra armor. And right now, Monchi looking to kill off plenty of
There's also a warp
drones.
in the main.
And there is indeed. Oh, Banelings being used there to be able to try and clean that up. Will he get the Warp Prism? Yes, he does, but is it going to be enough considering the 3rd just died?
Yep, 3rd died. Macro hatch now being made for the Zerg. Equal worker count, but 4 probes being produced at a time for Monchi already. He's on 4 bases. Zerg is on 2.
It's looking a little bit treacherous for Safa here, as right now, there's still Colossus count rising. And he's just going for the Immortal.
Tricky waters to navigate for Safa here. His main is about to run out. He doesn't have a 3rd. He has almost half the supply of Protoss, and the Protoss army is better suited to dealing with the Zerg army, and it's also got more upgrades.
Admirably for Safa, he was able to get even more probe kills up at the top left-hand corner with a few Zerglings. And, you know, again, those Banelings, they killed like 30 probes in total, which is pretty darn good. But considering how far he's been behind, not even that can get himself back into this too much. I mean, he's still got avenues to come back in. He's getting a macro hatch-up. He wants to re-establish a 3rd. But right now, with the 4 base Protoss to a 3 kind of base, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, there's, I mean, there's really almost no way for Zerg to win, one would say.
We do have that Hive morphing in for Safa, trying to kind of find that little avenue back into this, but with a few more Banelings morphing in, he's going to be able to focus down some of these Infestors once again with those Stalkers. They do get crashed into by a few Banelings and those Fungals. Nice second Fungal as well on those Colossus, but it's not going to be enough. GG, ladies and gentlemen, as Monchi will take a first game rather convincingly, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the first attack had some potential, but the supply wasn't enough. Like it was like 90 versus 90. Zerg was on very low econ, and he didn't have any nuances in his attack strategy. He didn't attack different places at once. He didn't send any Banelings to the main base, which if you just plan it well, you can just shift click, rally, drop, unload in the main base. You don't have to look at it again. Just make the sequence once.
Yep.
And once you do that, it becomes much harder for the defender to manage. But not doing that and concentrating all your efforts in one place, and then to see them go sour, not having a definitive victory, and still fighting against a full economy from the Protoss, that's just almost suicide. And that's a fitting word, considering he used Banelings. Suicide.
That is very true. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, no problem.
We were already talking about some interesting jokes earlier. They were doing very well. So, indeed, we're going to be getting on to game number 2, and it is Entombed Valley, actually, for map number 2.
No, that does not bode well for Safa. I heard Hasselhoff say that maybe that would mean that he would have had to have a kind of plan for this match, because otherwise he wouldn't leave the map in.
Yeah.
So, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, because you normally do see Zerg's veto it, especially since it's not definitively cross positions forced.
Yeah.
I mean, even in that situation, it gets a little bit better for Zerg, but
you know, in tournament play, in North versus South and Entombed Valley tournament play, actually the win rate for PvZ is 50-50. In Korea, they won like over 100 games plus. They won like one map more than Protoss.
Oh, right.
And internationally, it's equal.
Okay.
Yeah, so
maybe
it's one of the most balanced maps, and all the others, they have slightly Zerg-tilted favorite percentages. Not too big, though. Not to the point where you say, oh, you know, there's a big problem there.
No.
Yeah, no, it's all fairly well balanced within like acceptable ranges of percentages. In any case, we do have a cross map here, so cool. We know that equal chances for both players is a guarantee statistically. In practice, Monchi looked the stronger, and Safa has a big job ahead of him if he wants to try and get back into this game. We're here in loser bracket round 2 of the Blizzard WCS World Championship Series. We're looking at the combined Europe nationals. They're playing for elimination. The loser of this game will go out. Monchi is leading with 1-0. It's match point for Safa, possibly the last map in this tournament for him.
Maybe.
If he's able to come back, he will be taking it to a rubber match. But for now, let's introduce the players.
As we do have Monchi going to be spawning up in the top right-hand corner here as our blue Protoss, taking one game over our Zerg, spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner, who is opening up very similarly to his first game. He is going to go by the name of RoX.KIS.Safa, and he is going to be spawning as our red Zergy. So, yes, spawning pool on the way, 11. And, you know, I mean, considering what we already saw previously, I think Monchi might end up just expecting this. And he actually scouts. No, he didn't scout cross positions first. Okay, so, yeah. That would have been a bit odd, considering it is not cross positions forced.
Yeah, he just did double scout with early forged, which is the way you want to handle Entombed Valley and Tal'Darim Ladder Edition. Because it's the only way to really be sure that you can hold 6 pools.
And by holding a 6 pool, do you mean throwing down the pylon in your main?
Yeah, sacrificing your natural and throwing down a pylon in your main, building a cannon there, and then stabilizing and taking it from there. So he did double probe scout. It cost some money, but at least you're not saying I accept losing to 6 pool.
Yes,
just
random.
Random Nexus first is. It's not the best against 6 pool.
No.
4 links coming out, and the drone going to take an expansion. Late-ish expansion again, but not as late as in the first game.
Will Monchi be able to get out? That was nice micro there by Safa, but he did mineral walk that probe out of there. So nicely done there by Monchi.
There's no way to escape from 4 links. The Blizzard really did a great job with the AI of units in StarCraft to back in Warcraft 3 or StarCraft 1, when you would, the more units you chase something with, the more they'll annoy each other, like they're elbowing each other.
Yeah.
Let me get at him, and the other one is like, he's mine. But in StarCraft 2, it's designed. The more links you put on a probe, the more one of them will get to the front and get a hit in.
Yeah.
So 4 links will kill a probe quicker when chasing it than 3 links, and 1 link will never kill it.
Nope. So this probe is going to see things that it wants to see, i.e. if there's a third going down anytime soon. But for now, Monchi actually, he already got a second queen out. To transfer maybe down to the natural, and will we see him throw down a third anytime soon?
Well, he's mining gas again.
Oh, is he? Oh.
So we see a lot of Zergs here who do not conform to the standards of the metagame of PvZ, and which gives them an edge and a disadvantage of some sort. It is weaker in some ways, but you know, sometimes playing the game differently can become the new metagame.
Yes.
And sometimes playing the game differently is enough of a surprise to compensate for whatever disadvantage it may pose. Sid, very gung-ho on the gas openings.
Yep,
and
he likes them.
Safa now the same. Gonna go speed links. And will he stay on 2 base, add like 3 gases, like Sis? Or will he eventually take a third? Let's see.
I'm trying to watch where all these drones are going, but they're all just going to that mineral line, so it's really not too helpful right now.
You thought they were going to break the rocks in the middle?
Oh yeah, of course. Nibbling away with their little pincers.
Second cannon for Monchi is a unnecessary investment, we know. And there we go. Now he knows too. He just wanted to have an option on having it.
Yeah.
And as he saw, there were still no speed links out. There weren't like a lot of links. He decided, I'm going to take a risk and say, I'll cancel it now, and it saves me some money, and I can get on with my plans.
And yeah, I actually really, really like that, because sometimes you can get caught off guard as a Protoss, like, oh, well, I didn't see like that Roach Warren, like, at all. And so having that there and then thinking, well, you know, it's not come at that particular time, then you can just cancel it. You lose a little bit of minerals, but not too much. So that's really, really nice to see, actually.
Yeah, there was a cancel cannon with the Kalaris and Grubby seal of approval.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
As we do have the 2 evolution chambers on the way for Safa now, and the Baneling Nest. So he is just sticking to
his guns.
Yeah, very much so.
Whereas Monchi is looking to go with a 1 gate into Robo and then 3 more gateways, which usually lends itself to either expanding, obviously, or doing an all-in with extra gateways later. It looks to me like an expansion build.
Yeah.
But we can't be really sure until we see the next move that Monchi makes.
I'm assuming Safa is going to go for drops again. Like,
yeah,
because
everything else is the same so far.
Exactly, yeah. And from there, I mean, we've seen drop play a little bit on this map to be able to circumvent, you know, the choke points to be able to defend these thirds.
Yeah, Snute, for example, plays like that. Snute, the Norwegian Zerg player.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, there we go. Ventral Sax is being upgraded. Soon after, it will be followed by Pneumatized Carapace. And then we're going to see some Link Baneling drop action. Gonna be better on this map, I think. It's a bit more cramped for the Protoss, harder to spread.
Yeah. Oh god, especially if he ends up catching him like in a transition between, like if Monchi goes for like a third, and then you know he's breaking down his rocks.
Yeah, you're totally right, but he's not though.
No.
He's adding 3 gates. Yeah, if he went for a third, I think this would be perfect for Safa.
Yeah.
But considering Monchi is staying on 2 base, I think this strat from Safa is gonna be more defensive rather than offensive. If he analyzes correctly and sees this is a Robo all-in with Immortal Sentries as the main force, if he drops Banelings defensively, sits back and is patient, and he drops them on the army from Monchi, I think Safa's gonna be in an amazing spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, it all depends on where that engagement comes. If the engagement comes in like the middle of the map here, where you know Monchi was able to split quite a few units and stuff like that, as opposed to on ramps, then Safa might be he might be in a little bit of trouble if Monchi is able to react in time with that. But as you rightly said, it is that 2-base Immortal push, and I mean we've seen this once or twice tried to be shut down by Banelings. Oh, good God, he actually.
Oh, that's not where you want to morph them in.
Not at all. He could make it. Oh, he cancels them all. Imagine if he'd have gone just force field break.
Look at all the upgrades lining up.
That is, wow, actually they line up perfectly.
Yeah, everything lined up. Did he plan that? Has he done this before?
Oh, who would have thought? But so this force is relatively weak against the Baneling drops, unless he connects like fully with Immortals. But still, it's going to be very clumped up right now.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this is Safa's moment. He should surround now and then drop.
Splitting up the units, but even then he can't split them too well. The Baneling's going to drop all over this entire force, demolishing the sentries. And Banelings do crash into those Immortals, so they will end up soaking up quite a bit of that damage, not as cost efficiently as the other killing the sentries was. And actually, this is still looking a little bit precarious for Safa.
Yeah, I think Safa shouldn't have dropped those last Banelings. He should have just flown back, because he did a lot of shield damage on Stalkers, but nothing critical.
He sees a few Banelings morphing in on the ramp.
Oh, are the Banelings going to come out in time? Can he save his natural? His natural is already half-life. Oh. It's continuing to take hits. Link's coming one at a time. Baneling's going, and now the force field comes. He's definitely going to lose his natural now.
Picking up some more Banelings in those Overlords. That's the advantage of having the Overlord drop, especially if someone's going to force field around. But is it going to be enough right now, as this base is looking very, very weak, splitting those units very nicely against the extra Banelings that are coming in. And right now, though, Monchi reinforcing very, very nicely. GG, ladies and gentlemen, as Monchi eliminates Safa from the tournament.
Yeah. Probably the first international tournament experience for RoX.KIS.Safa. Must be a good experience for him. He didn't lose everything. He beat Enchanted.
Yes.
He played some great players here. We see a handshake between the guys.
And it's a very tough tournament for, say, I'm not 100% sure on how Safa prefers the matchup or dislikes the matchup or anything like that, but because there's a very limited amount of people, races that you're going to be going up against. It's pretty much only Protoss and
everyone's
right
good at the matchup, probably.
Yeah.
Because they all prepared for this.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So, depends how it feels, really.
Monchi with a relatively, good, easy, maybe, 2-0 victory. Safa will be staying here with us for the rest. We'll be taking a spectator position, no doubt. Monchi's still in the running to do well at this tournament, to maybe make true on his probable seed. Yes. In my head, I mean, there's no real seeds here, but in my head, I have him pegged as maybe a top 6 favorite. It kind of depends on his shape. Sometimes he's very ruthless and good, and sometimes it shakes a bit.
And yeah, I mean, in terms of like upsets, what we've seen so far, not really a whole lot apart from when we saw Wolverite at the start of the tournament take out Kerr to begin with, and then Kerr is currently making his way through the lower bracket. But in the like semi-final for the winners bracket currently, we have Lowly going up going up against Sizz, and then we have Biggs going up against Night End. And to be fair, those were the 4, maybe aside from Monchi and SYZ, I mean, that was kind of a bit of a toss-up in itself. Those 4 were very, very strong contenders for those positions to begin with.
Yep. And now I'm very curious to see what Monchi thought of that series.
Yes.
Let's take it to the post-game interview with Zoe, Hasselhoff, and Monchi.
And I have now the winner joining me once more. It is, of course, Monchi. So congratulations to you. And is the audience still there? Yes, we still hear them. Can't go without them. And once more have Hazu as well. So let's talk a little bit about the games. On the first map, Daybreak, we saw them a lovely Baneling drops, 3 attempts of them. He took his 3rd bait rather late. Do you think this lost him the game, or did you feel like it's kind of over before that?
I think he planned to do an all-in anyway. That's why he planted the 3rd so late. Like, he wanted to really kill my economy with all those Banelings. But my observer went there in time, so I could have a good scout. I did a good scout, and yeah, I don't know. I think I reacted in time. And I didn't lose too many probes, so yeah.
What did you think of Safa's strategy there?
Yeah, I think Monchi is right. I think he planned on doing way more damage because his 3rd was so delayed, and afterwards there was this fight at your natural ramp where he tried to drop and you killed some overlords and you spread it very well. So you were ahead the whole game, I guess. And
yeah, from then on the game was basically over.
Yeah, indeed. I think. Yeah, then you pushed out right away, and there was one drop by him killing all your probes as the
at
3rd.
The 3rd base, yeah.
But you had a 4th as well, so I think that game was just very good by you. And the 2nd map was Entombed, right? Yeah. You played Immortal all in. I was kind of surprised because well, I don't know Safa's style too much, but I feel against Zergling Baneling, Immortal All-In shouldn't be the best, because usually the sentries will all die to the Banelings. That's what happened, but I guess you had too much reinforcement for him, because he didn't kill the rocks between his natural and third, so it was harder for him to defend. And I think his third was it right away, or was it delayed again?
I scouted at 5:10 and it was not there, so he delayed it again. He had to delay it again for his tech. Anyway, it was pretty close though in the end, or after his first drop on my army when I attacked, because he killed he killed every single sentry,
yeah,
right?
Indeed. That's why I wonder, do you think it's a good idea to play that all in?
I think it's still a strong strategy
really?
if you spread out a little bit. And also, I wasn't really scared. I mean, it was close, but I killed a lot of links. So in the end, he killed all my sentries, but he didn't have any army left. So.
Yeah. The big part is actually that you force fielded very nice before the sentries died. Like you got all the force fields on the ramp, so the
it's not even the banelings. The banelings will kill a part of my army anyway. It's the Zerglings that run in and kill the rest of my army then.
Indeed,
so you have to force field before that, and
Yeah, and then your reinforcement was just bigger than his, because his third was delayed, so the drones were delayed, and the whole production is stopped then by the Zerg. So.
Yeah, low economy Zerg again, like Sis.
Well, for Sis it worked, so.
Yeah.
So you're playing against Scream next.
Apparently, yeah.
Another Zerg.
How do you feel about the matchup in general? Do you like to play against Zergs, or is it not so much your favorite matchup?
Yeah, I like every matchup, to be honest. Really? Even against Zerg.
That's the first player ever here saying that.
Of course it's hard, but I see it rather as a challenge. So I don't know. Of course it's hard. It's really hard to play against Zerg, especially against some styles like Muda play or something. Also many people may think that roaches in the mid game are a bit overpowered. Maybe they are, I don't know, but the game is still pretty new. Meta game is changing every day, so maybe Protoss will figure something out soon.
Well, then very much hope we see you game anytime soon. But before that, we have yet another game between South Africa and Switzerland. This time it's Sony versus, of course, our South Africa player, which is Panda Tank. And that game is coming up anytime soon. And before that, we of course doing the map vote. So thank you very much for joining me. And we see you again very soon, I guess. And before that, we're going to do the map vote. And now I have Kalaris joining me. How are you doing? Good. I don't know, you kept asking me that last
How are your brackets looking?
My bracket's looking good.
Really?
I'm not sure, actually. We have to go over them in just a second. So, we're going to see Panda Tank versus Sony now. How you feeling about that? Who do you see as a favorite?
Panda Tank.
Oh, then I go for Sony.
Oh, I wonder why. I was never expecting that.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so Panda Tank looked pretty good in his PVZs. Admittedly, we did see Panda Tank actually be sent down to the losers bracket and stuff like that by another Zerg. But Mr. Biggs, I believe. Was it Biggs? I think it was Biggs.
Yeah, Biggs just played him before. And
Swiss being...
Yeah. Was once again a Swiss guy. And he beat him 2-0. And funny enough... Biggs and Sony, they just disappeared for a second together. And,
they disappeared?
No, they didn't disappear, but they got together and were actually talking about their strategies. And I'm pretty darn sure we're going to see something very similar to what Biggs does from Sony. So, we will see that. But before that, we're going to see, of course, the map votes now. They are starting now. Tal'Darim Altar is already out.
That's no surprise. We've already spoken at length about this in PVZ, as this series is shaping up to be a lot of PVZ right now. And Toon Valley, wow, that was a big surprise as well.
Yeah, wow, in that matchup.
We would have never guessed. By the end of this tournament, ladies and gents, we are all going to be very, very strong experts at PVZ. And what is going to be the final map? I'm saying Antigua.
No, come on.
No, you can't have Antigua. Mine's Antigua. Hey, I said it first.
Well, Hannah, once more being removed.
Okay.
I'm always a bit surprised about seeing Hannah gone, as I always thought that's I don't know, that doesn't really favor anyone. Everyone seems to feel comfortable on a Hana.
I like the map in terms of like the dynamic that it provides in a similar way to Daybreak and Cloud Kingdom, because again, it is that 1v1 map. For me, as a like if I'm playing Proto, again, I play random, so I play these all matchups from all angles. But I feel a little bit worse going up against Zerg against it on it, because there's so much room for them to go for counter attacks. But I still think it's a good map. And I think it's better than Shakura's Plateau.
Well, gladly you don't have to play on it now.
No.
So, yeah, that's what the guys are going to do. And once more, let me tell you how you can win our StarCraft 2 Collector's Edition. Make sure to go on the ESL TV page, and it's the ESL. That's the name of the page. There is also a ESL TV page, and I posted there in the comments the link to the other page. So making sure that you guys find it. All you have to do is posting something which will show us how much you love StarCraft 2. So, Kalaris, how much do you love StarCraft 2? What would you do to prove that to us?
Pretty good.
Is that all?
That's all.
Really? Is this how you prove your love?
I told you I was prepared. No. Okay,
yeah,
so
I'm waiting for the preparation.
Well, no.
Kicking now.
Look, right, I enjoy dressing up as StarCraft units at home.
You do that?
Broodlord. I've got like stuffed teddies, like throw them at things on the ground. That's what you do.
Oh wow, I'm impressed. For 1 second, I thought there's a Broodlord next to me in a suit.
We need a Broodlord hoodie for that kind of thing.
Yeah, we do.
That would what an amazing idea that I just came up with.
Yeah, I kind of want to slap your face. Because this was apparently my idea. This is what I came up with.
No.
Thank you. Thanks. No.
It's just been on air that I came up with it.
Yeah, of course, we all believe you with that. So yeah, let's just put it like that, and we will be going into that very game any minute. And as said, once more, going to Twitter, going to Facebook, we will check that out in a bit. And now I will throw it over to our commentators, which are going to be Grubby and Hazuops for all the action in game.
Rakatatak, and we're back with Hazuops and Grubby here at the WCS Combined Europe Nationals. Next match will be Zoni versus
Panda Tank. Once again.
Yeah.
I'm casting this guy all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when someone keeps winning, kind of.
Indeed, yeah. It's in the lower bracket, though.
Yeah. He just lost to Biggs. Yeah, loser bracket round 3 will be played.
Oh, no, wait.
No.
Oh, excuse me.
Loser bracket round 2.
It's the second round, yeah. And yeah, you're right. He lost to Biggs before. Panda Tank, that is.
It was a 2-0, but yeah, and I wouldn't say it was like close, but that's just because Biggs
is very good in this kind of matchup, and I think he really likes to play against three base Protoss. We saw that on Cloud Kingdom. I felt with small adjustments, Panda Tank could have won that game.
On Daybreak?
Or on Cloud Kingdom. Yeah. If he spreaded his army maybe a little bit more and having 4 instead of 3 Colossi.
That's what I was alluding to. Like his play still looked quite good.
Indeed, yeah. It
Not
did,
quite there yet, but
yeah, like just small adjustments, I guess, would have made it way closer. And yeah, well, on Daybreak, I don't know. I was kind of surprised that he lost, to be honest.
I was kind of surprised that he still did well. I saw when he moved in, I was like, Biggs is gonna take it because he's fighting with creep all around. Biggs was wasting a lot of force fields.
Yeah, that's true, but he didn't have speed for such a long time.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't take a fight for ages. And then Panda Tank got closer and closer to the natural, and then he kept force fielding the roaches behind the hedge, but he didn't kill anything.
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
think that was the problem.
Yeah.
Like using force field but not killing anything.
And then it still got quite close.
Yeah. Yep.
But Biggs came from 3 sides in the end. It looked good, but then force fields again. And then finally they ran out, and then Biggs came in, and it was still kind of close.
And there was no War Prism during that fight. I talked to James about that I think the way of reinforcement for Panda Tank was very hard because the piling was somewhere in the middle of the map.
Takes away the attention too.
So there was so much creep, and he didn't have the observer, so he couldn't clear the creep. So let's see if he does it this time, if he plays Immortal in.
Yeah. And guys, join us on Twitter, #SC2WCS. Every hashtag with that will be seen by everyone else who's following this event. Hashtag SC2WCS. Let us know what you think of the event, the casting, the players, the matches, anything. We love to read it. And maybe if we have some time later, we'll give some shout-outs to people with cool comments. For now, the game has started. Pandatank versus Zoni on Daybreak. First map. I'm pretty psyched for this. Pandatank has been playing like a tank. And Zoni's in the zone as well.
Yeah, pretty surprising so far from Zoni, because I think Zoni is one of those players I actually never heard about.
Have you not played him on the ladder?
I don't think so.
I played him on the ladder all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, then...
Maybe we play at different times. I do think we're in the same level.
I just want to say maybe my level is too bad or yours is too bad. I don't know. Or too good.
I started this Grandmaster season with 1-9.
I started with 4-6, so something like this. Like
yeah, you're a lot better, I can see.
So yeah, I don't know. I never played Sony in the ladder. Yeah. So yeah, we do see Zoni as the blue Zerg on Daybreak here.
Bottom left.
Bottom left, doing the gas trick to get another drone. And on the right side, we do see the Protoss in red. Pandatank from South Africa. And it's the second round in the loser bracket.
Loser will be eliminated and will go home in second to last place. Top 12.
Yeah.
Winner still has a chance and moves up to top 8 or top 10.
Indeed. And the top 2, they qualify for the continental finals here in Europe. It's going to be in Sweden.
And basically that's the winner of the winner bracket and the winner of the loser bracket, they will qualify.
Indeed, yeah.
So we know now that from the loser bracket, everyone who's there, plus a few more people who drop down, only one of them will make it. So
very hard.
That's tough.
That's very tough.
It doesn't even matter if you're on the left side of the bracket or the right side.
Yeah.
You need to beat everyone
you have
who
to clear
in
the loser bracket, yeah. So Sony is doing the same. I wouldn't call it a trick, but because Pandatank is always going for a very late forge, I told Bix to plant the hedge right away at the third base if he tries to block you at the natural, because he cannot really cannon rush you.
Yeah.
So there's no threat in putting the hedge there. And for Zerg, they don't care too much about putting the hedge at the natural or third base at first, because most of the time they will plant 2 hedges anyway. So
yeah, and it's better to get a 2-minute 45-second hatch at the third than a 3-minute 20-second hatch at the natural.
Indeed, yeah, yes. So and once again, we do see a very late forge, and right after the Nexus, and then gate and cannon. So standard opening. And I'm curious if he's gonna go for 3 base, because so far Pandatank never really changed his opening. He chrono boosted out the first Stalker, then he made a Sentry, and then he made the Robo.
Yeah.
Then he was adding 3 more gates, and then it was either 3 base, like right away, or 2 base Immortal all-in.
Yeah, and usually he started with the macro, and he did the all-in the second game.
Yes, you're right.
So he can't keep following the same patterns, because the opponents will be on to him.
Especially Sony is a good friend of Bix, and I saw they were talking about...
they're country mates, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think they even live in the same city, but I'm not sure, to be honest. So I saw them talking before the match, and yeah, Bix just played against Pandatank, so they're gonna share some information there, obviously.
Of course, pro gaming tournaments are always a great source of networking for pro gamers.
Yes.
And when I say networking, I mean discussing strategies and networking.
So we do see first queens about to pop, putting lava injects. There's a queen at the third as well. It will drop a creep to more. I like that decision. So you get the creep spread right away in this location, which is most of the time the point where the Protoss tries to put some pressure on early game or even in the mid game with an all-in. And once again we do see the chrono boost on the Stalker, followed up by a Sentry. A little bit delayed, +1 on the Forge.
And then he's gonna go for a third gas, but no fourth yet.
Yep.
This is what we know of Pandatank from having followed him in the tournament so far.
And
2 gases at 6-10 for Zerg. Maybe some more new StarCraft 2 fans or watchers may wonder, why do we place so much emphasis on describing the timings of that in-game clock? Well, that's because StarCraft 2 is a game of timings and economy. That's first and foremost. And then also, of course, a game of armies, where you both field an army, you outmaneuver each other, you fight, and you try to win the game with that army. But first and foremost, one has to consider economics and timings. An attack with the same force which hits a minute earlier than an attack with the same force which hits a minute later will have a much greater chance of success, because armies keep growing and keep growing exponentially. That's why it's so important to consider how quickly everything is created.
Yes. It's very true. We do see the robo is completed and he makes an observer. That was the indicator for going a third base.
Yep. That's probably all the indicator we need as watchers of this.
Indeed. And the
series.
Overlord actually will see that there, if he takes a look, he will see the glimpse of the observer spawning, because the chrono boost ran out and he will see that the robo stopped working, so it has to be an observer.
He did not look.
Too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, afterwards he will see the robo, that there was a robo, but he cannot be sure about which unit was created.
I don't think he looked, except if it was in the very first second I wasn't looking, but it seems he didn't look. Which means that if he had looked, he could have just gone straight up to 75 drones.
Yes.
Seeing double or one observer coming out. Now, however, he's going to go to 59 so far. He's teching. And there we go. A lot more drones being made. So
10 more. Another. Yeah.
Zoni knows.
He's on.
He has good instincts, even though he doesn't have a lot of overlords near the Protoss.
It's funny that Zerg stopped sending overlords close to
it's
the.
Just Zoni, I think, again.
No, it was Biggs did the same. Like, there was no overlord in this location on Daybreak.
Maybe don't want to lose three overlords to Stargate?
I don't know. Biggs had an overlord behind the natural on this high ground here. Zoni is missing it, so...
he just used it to scout instead.
It was that one?
Yeah,
okay, sorry.
Well, he flew it up and then flew over the base.
Yes. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So 68 drones for Zerg, a very nice amount. Full saturation on every base. And is now going to start streaming in roaches. Where will it stop? Probably never.
200. Probably never. So we do see the same wall off of Panda Tank once again. 3 pylons, 3 cannons, 4 gateways. The Nexus is about to finish. He's on 53 probes, so he needs to build some more to make it worth there. It's the first Immortal. Yeah, the first Immortal just popped out of the robo. The second one is being created together with Chrono Boost, and +1 is on the way. So he's setting up his defense. He has 1 observer once again in front of his natural. This time it's a little bit better located, even though I think a little bit further to the left.
Yeah, a bit too close to the ramp.
Indeed.
He's also got 3 sentries again at his third. A well-rehearsed tactic of defense, whereas most of his army is at the natural. Continues to make Immortals non-stop, and now follows up with the Twilight, which would give him blink against any possible Mutualist.
And once again, the second observer is constantly scouting the main base of the Zerg, the main base and the natural, to see if there is a Spire going up or anything else. He could force field those roaches. He decides not to.
Yeah,
a wise decision.
He's not too trigger happy with it. Very calm. Last time he also let the cannon get very low HP before he acts.
Oh,
he has to look at this natural.
Yeah, that was close.
You just lose games that way. When roaches move in, you forget to force field.
So Zerg is at 180 now, and he's still making roaches, so very true. He never will stop making them. Adding a few Zerglings here and there. +2 is on the way for Panda Tank, while Sony actually skipped his upgrades completely. He's just making an Evo Chamber, if I'm right.
Yeah.
First cannon is dying.
It's the second Evo Chamber, but he didn't use the first one.
Okay.
Normally, you could have +1 attack upgrade on roaches by now, but still, it's a 12-minute roach max. Tries to attack the Immortals behind there, but nice force field there.
Force field, wow.
A lot of roaches died.
Yeah.
A lot of roaches died already.
Yeah, he was wasting a lot of roaches there, and then 4 of them got force fielded. I clicked on them. They were stuck between the force field and the gateways. Now he's trying to poke up the natural, but I tell you, there's no way. And okay, there's one thing I have to mention. Why Zergs don't get burrow and burrow movement if they play like that?
Dongregor does. He has the 12-minute roach max out with tunneling.
Yeah, some Zergs do that.
Yeah, suddenly have way more initiative in those fights.
Yeah, indeed. Because right now there's no way he will ever be able to poke up the natural unless Panda Tank is not aware of that. 2 more roaches being trapped there with the force fields, and the gateways
Attacking all gateways equally, just taking off shields and giving roaches for it.
being very kind to Panda Tank there.
Very, very kind. 70 drones against 68 probes. We've got extra gateways, we've got blink, more attack upgrades, massive amount of immortals, 5, and a 6th one is coming.
On the way, yeah.
Robo Bay is coming for Colossi. We're gonna have a beautiful maxed out army here from Panda Tank. And in that time, all that Zerg will be able to get is maybe a couple of infestors. Has a lot of minerals, but very late 4th.
And he's actually full, like he's at 200 supply, so he needs to waste some more units for infestor or whatever he actually wants.
And when he does, that's going to open up the opportunity to counter-attack for Panda Tank.
So finally he's focusing one gateway, and that goes down right away.
So when you focus a gateway, you could kill it.
Yeah. We do see it once more. He's going to kill another gate there. And yeah.
This is what he could have done a long time ago.
Yeah.
Really. A very long time ago. No upgrades on roaches. He's going pathogen gland, spire, hive, attack, and armor for zerglings.
And
now,
5 more drones.
Does Panda Tank know it? He has an observer at the natural. But
he's trying to poke up the natural. Wasting a lot of roaches for only 1 immortal, I think. Yeah, 1 immortal and maybe a sentry. Is he getting a second one? No.
Will he get the stalker? He could.
No.
He doesn't want to.
He decides to...
Dennis, take a look at the units lost tab.
Which this one is it?
7 units lost for Panda Tank. They were expensive units.
Yeah,
Gateways and immortals and sentries.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Only 7 units so far. That's
it's about as good as you can do.
He's on 71 probes, so perfect situation now. He's gonna get Colossi. He's adding 4 more gates. 5 more gates. So he's about to move out, and I love it. He adjusted his build a little bit. He made the second robo. I was mentioning that before. I think with 2 robos.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna get Colossi earlier, and then you get the better timing window to attack. And yeah, he did that this game.
And he will soon have 4 Colossi.
Yeah, indeed.
Attack
the third one
upgrades.
is there, the 4th one on the way. If he keeps chrono boosting it, and if he's pushing out right now, it will join the 4th very soon there.
And the 3rd attack upgrade is nearly done as his thermal lands. And even though he has all that, he's not satisfied. He's making a Dark Shrine too, which will give him a lot of nice options later on.
Yeah, and this Roach Force is very weak. It's only on 1 armor, 0 attack upgrades. I mean, Roaches are never weak, but against this kind of army composition, they just will not do anything if the force fields land. And I guess that Panda Tank will not fail on the force fields, because right now he's just focusing on his army. He's moving out, he's at 200 supply, so he doesn't have to warp in. There's an observer with his army, so he can clean all the Cryptomores. We do see...
There's 1 Infestor out and 7 Corruptors. Not quite enough, I think. Roaches get a little bit too close and friendly for the Protoss' liking, but still.
5 Immortals underneath those Colossi.
Oh,
he attacked the RoX. Yeah, I saw that as well.
Thank you.
Just for a split second, he was attacking the RoX. And notice that there are no spine crawlers at all. If you remember the game of Panda Tank against Biggs, there were a lot of spine crawlers to stall time as well. And Sony has 5,000 minerals.
You could afford some spine crawlers all for 5,000 minerals, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, you could.
How many? 100. Almost.
He's making 20 more Roaches and 20 Zerglings. But I tell you, Roaches and Zerglings will not help you.
Against 3 attack upgrade, very well balanced Sentry, Stalker, Immortal, Colossus army.
Yeah. And no burrow movement, so force fields are extremely helpful. Yeah. Good force fields there. 1 more to maybe close the gap. Okay, he decides not to do that. He's also blink microing, so as I said, the full focus of the Protoss is at his army, so he can micro to the maximum here, and that's what he's doing.
5 DTs. Yeah. GG as 5 DTs were being warped in. Good job.
Did the DTs do anything? No, right?
No, they just got warped in.
And I think once again he was sending them to the 4th. Yeah.
There is no 4th, man.
Yeah, we saw that
Come
before.
on, Panda. There's no 4th.
We saw that before.
Yeah.
When he was playing against Safa.
Yeah.
So 1-0 Panda Tank.
WTF.
Yeah, I love his shirt. And he also has the panda icon in StarCraft 2, like this Panda Marine.
Oh yeah. Wow. Layers upon layers. Daybreak. Looks like Panda Tank's home map.
Seems so.
Next is Shakura's Plateau.
Shakura's? I don't like
according
that.
to the pattern, we're gonna see
an all-in?
Immortal all-in on
well,
this map.
It makes sense on Shakura's.
Yeah.
I feel it's very hard to play 3-base.
Yeah.
Even though Zergs, sometimes they say it should be very easy.
but it's not.
But from my personal experience, it's very hard to take a third on this map.
It hasn't been easy for about 1.5 years to take a third here.
Yeah, good luck both.
When those rocks lead to the funny back location.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
in
that's
north
true.
and south.
So let's jump into the second game. As we said before, it's going to be in Chakura's Plateau. Zoni is behind 0-1. Pentatank is leading.
Fighting for his tournament life, Sony is. Pentatank needs one more map to advance. Can't let up now. And the positions are cross positions.
Both players look very focused.
You see a look in our studio, ESL TV studio. About 30 people or so audience, very VIP situation.
Yeah, I think it was invite only as far as I know.
Yeah, you could apply to a raffle.
Okay, yeah.
And then if you won or if you were the first, you were allowed to come. So
okay,
yeah, invite only in essence. 16 players are here.
Yeah, I think the two big favorites, or like the people the most known, are Biggs and Night End here. And Lowly also did a very good job during the